On the last topic or the last episode, we talked about our children feeling our feelings or allowing them feel their feelings because you're able to feel your feelings. Today, we're going to take it a step higher and say what children need. But I want us to listen to Gabor Mate and see what he says are the basic needs for children. And then I'll share my views and pick maybe one of it and expand on it. Let's listen to him.
Children need unconditional loving acceptance by multiple adult caregivers, which is how we evolved in hunter-gatherer groups and lived that way for millions and hundreds of thousands of years. Children have a need not to have to work to make the relationship with their parents work. So children need rest from having to struggle to make the relationship functional. So they don't have to be pretty or cute or compliant or clever or successful or any of that stuff. They just need to be, and they don't have to work at getting the parents to accept them. That's an essential need of the child. When I say essential, I mean if it's not met, that'll distort child development. The third need is really crucial, and in our society it's hardly ever met, which is the child needs the freedom to experience all the emotions that nature has endowed her or him with. So we have certain brain circuits for anger, for love, for play, for lust, for seeking, curiosity. All these circuits are there for a reason. We share them with other animals. We share them with bear cubs and puppies and little whales, elephant. They need to develop because they're there for a reason. Evolution gave it to us. In our society, parents are often advised and taught to suppress certain emotional experiences on the part of the child. That's a wound to the child.
Yeah. So this is what I think. And I want to expand on one of the points that he made out of the three, which is children don't need to have to work at making their relationship with their parents work. Oh, I wish I knew this when I was a new mother, but I didn't know this. I put a lot of pressure on my children just knowing what to do. Shouldn't you just know what to do? Don't you know that this thing that you have done is wrong? Don't you know? It was always a don't you know, as though they needed to know something different. Of course, I didn't know that our brains don't mature till we're 25. I didn't have any of that information. And so I treated them the way I was predominantly treated as a child, which I was told what to do, and I had no choice but to do them. That's how I came into my marriage with my husband and his two kids that existed. I thought children, we command them, we tell them what to do, and they'll go and do it. So it doesn't matter how they are feeling. It doesn't matter what they are feeling. It's only all that matters is what I tell them to do, and they must do it. And that thing, I dare say, must have done a huge number on them. And when my own child came along, must have done a huge number on her too, because I didn't know better. And that's why I'm really soliciting for us to know better so that we can do better for our children. The fact that we have to play a role for our parents to see us, I think is really, really unfair on the child. The fact that you've got to either get good grades, or you have to be the one that cares for everybody, or be the one that has to be sick so that people will leave what they're doing to come and meet you, or be the one that has to be the most stubborn of them all and create all kinds of masks that we wear just because we want to continually be seen by our guardians or our caretakers and our parents. In school, you are competing with so many other kids. You want to be the one that is seen, so you have to be the first and the best. And then everybody tells you how great you are. You have to be in all the school clubs, carrying all the first in all the school clubs. You have to know how to play all the instruments so that they can say this child is multi-talented, multifaceted, multi-ethnic, multi-language. We just put so much pressure on the performance, on the child having to consistently perform a role to stay in our purview, to the point that if the child says no or refuses to do certain things, we label the child a bad child. We label the child the black sheep of the family. We label the child, this one will never amount to anything. We label the child the stubborn goat. In my own case, I was the stubborn goat. We label the child all kinds of things, and now start to go from pastor to pastor, priesthood to priesthood, looking for who in your village is the one affecting this child and sending spiritual curses your way. That's why this child must be from the devil. And that's why this child has been sent from the pit of hell to come and make your life a misery. And we start to pray. I had an uncle who prayed for death for one of his children because she disobeyed him. And this is a man who was meant to be a man of God, wore an outfit as a reverend father, who prayed for death for his child because she disobeyed him. I don't know who died and made us God, I promise you. I don't know. But we've got to stop this thing that our children have to force themselves into a role. And that's why a lot of kids these days are on drugs. They are numbing out their feelings. They're taking, the ones that are sniffing gum are sniffing gum. The ones that are drinking codeine to stay high and as a kite are doing that. The ones that are on meth, there's cocaine, there's heroin, there's all kinds of things. Some of it from peer pressure because you want to feel among, because at home, nobody's seeing you. So you just want to be amongst the cool kids. And these cool kids are doing all kinds of things that are detrimental to their life and their health, because those cool kids are also really not that cool on the inside. So what are we going to start to do differently as parents? Allow your children just be. Allow them. In the first few years of their life, maybe you want to be an investigator. You want to look at the things that they naturally do. My daughter, she can write songs. She comes up with tunes for songs. She likes music, anything creative and in the arts, she loves. And it wasn't because I pushed her there. It just came to her naturally. So what did I start to do? Oh, you want to do that? You want to do a course in it? Yes, mommy. Halfway, mommy, I'm not interested in the course anymore. That's fine. At some point, I said, you have to swim. You have to be a professional swimmer and even go for competitions to swim. One day she looked at me and she said, Mommy, I'm not swimming for any... I am not a professional swimmer. I only want to swim as a hobby. So I said to her, that's fine. I don't have to live precariously through you. Right? Allow them be. Choose what they want to do. They don't have to be in 7 clubs just for you to say, my child is in 7 clubs. She's the head violinist. She's the head pianist. She's the head skipper. She's the head jumper. She's the head runner. And the child doesn't want to do any of those things. The child just wants to chill. Right? And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. But we keep forcing them and pushing them. And they keep thinking that, okay, maybe if I can just get A, my mother will be happy with me. One day I told my daughter, if all you come back home with is F and you did your best, you will I will never stop loving you. And you will never be less of the special child that you are just because you came home with F9 for subjects in subjects that are subjects to subjects. I'm not interested. Because those things don't help you. Most of the teachers I have didn't even go to school. They didn't go to school. But they are phenomenal in what they're doing. And they are world leaders today. They didn't go to school. So I don't personally believe that you need an education to be great. But you need to become good at what you decide to do. And educate yourself on that. It's not by going to primary school and secondary school and nursery school and university. All those things don't matter because there's so many professors who are at home broke, deadbeat, and out of town. Right? And then there are people who didn't go to school who are doing so well. They're billionaires and trillionaires today. And they have conglomerates of businesses because they decided that they will become something. So it's not in the school that you go to that helps you become something, because they don't teach you how to be great in school. They just teach you how to be subject to the subjects that you have taught in school. So allow your children, allow them just be. Let them be themselves. Teach them what you need to teach them, but refrain from comparing them to other people or criticizing them or shaming them or damning them or blaming them, to believing that they need to play a role to be your chosen one. They don't have to. Every child is different. Just like you're different from your siblings, if you have siblings. You're different from the next man. Even your fingers, your own fingers, are not equal. So why would you want children to be the same? Why would you want your children to be the same? They don't have to be. Allow your children breathe. Love and light.